Every single day, billions of dollars move across the world. Almost every country depends on one currency. But how did the US dollar become the world's most powerful currency? The answer changed history forever. It wasn't always this way. There was a time when gold ruled global trade. Then one historic decision changed everything, and almost no one saw it coming. In 1944, 44 nations gathered in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Their mission was simple: build a financial system that could never collapse again. The agreement was revolutionary. Every major currency would be linked to the US dollar, and the dollar itself would be backed by gold. For the first time in history, the world trusted one currency above all others. As long as America could exchange every dollar for gold, the system worked. Then came the biggest turning point. In 1971, President Richard Nixon made a decision that shocked the entire world. The United States would no longer exchange dollars for gold. The rules of global finance changed overnight. Most people expected the dollar to collapse. Without gold, many believed it would lose all trust. But something completely unexpected happened. The dollar became even more powerful. The answer was oil. America reached a historic agreement with Saudi Arabia. From that moment, most international oil would be traded in US dollars. A new financial era had begun. That meant every country needed US dollars, whether it was Japan, Germany, or India. If a nation wanted oil, it had to buy dollars first. Demand for the dollar exploded. But oil was only the beginning. Soon, global trade, international loans, and foreign reserves all revolved around the US dollar. The dollar had become the backbone of the world's financial system. Then came another invisible advantage. Almost every international payment passed through the same financial network. The world couldn't see it, but it depended on it every single day. That network is called SWIFT. It doesn't actually move money. It securely carries payment instructions between thousands of banks around the world. Without it, global trade would slow dramatically. But America's influence didn't stop there, because the world's largest economy also had the world's largest financial markets. Governments, banks, and investors wanted their money in dollars, not just because they trusted America, but because everyone else trusted it too. So where do countries keep trillions of dollars? Many invest them in US Treasury bonds. These bonds are considered among the safest investments in the world. The more countries buy them, the stronger the dollar becomes. This system created another powerful advantage. Because so much global trade relies on the dollar, access to the dollar-based financial system became extremely important. Losing that access can make international trade far more difficult. But today, something unexpected is happening. Countries like China are expanding the use of their own currency in some international trade. Others are also exploring ways to reduce their dependence on the US dollar. Is the dollar finally losing its dominance? The reality is more complicated. Building a new global reserve currency isn't just about printing money. It requires trust, deep financial markets, political stability, and decades of global confidence. That is incredibly difficult to replace. So, will the US dollar rule the world forever? No one knows. History has shown that every great financial system eventually changes. The only question is, when will the next chapter begin? But if countries know this, why don't they simply stop using the US dollar? The answer is surprisingly simple. Changing the world's financial system isn't like changing an app on your phone. It could take decades, or even longer. China is trying to expand the use of its own currency. Several countries are also increasing trade in local currencies. These changes are slowly reshaping global finance, but none of them has replaced the dollar. At least not yet. The dollar isn't powerful simply because the United States says it is. It remains powerful because millions of businesses, banks, investors, and governments continue using it every single day. In the end, trust is the world's most valuable currency. So, the next time you see a US dollar, remember, you're not just looking at a piece of paper. You're looking at centuries of history, global trade, and the trust of billions of people around the world. The world's most powerful weapon isn't always a missile or an army. Sometimes, it's a currency trusted across the globe. And for now, that currency is still the US dollar. The world changes, empires rise, and eventually fall. Currencies change, technology evolves, but understanding how the world really works will always be valuable. Thanks for watching.